welcome to ParkTV 16 at Minnesota State High School hockey action. We're live at the Rock in St. Louis Park, the beautiful new outdoor hockey facility for the first ever high school game. I'm John Basil. This is Chad Nichols, and we're a little cold here, but we're having fun, and the band's here, and you can feel the atmosphere. And what an exciting, beautiful night for the first ever game, a high school at this beautiful facility, Chad.
It is a great night to be here. I can't believe after many years we finally are here for a real game.
It was quite a long process, and we'll talk about that throughout the game. As they're lining up, you can see down with the Hopkins Park girls, they've got some of the youth players dressed in their uniforms. The Jaguars, Bloomington Jefferson comes in with a 1-1 record. Hopkins Park comes in with a 2-1 record. So the starting lineups for Jefferson are being announced, and in goal is the senior, number 30, Mary McLean. And then Cole LaFond is a defensive junior. Rachel Graff, the senior defenseman for Jaguars. Selena Ria, the junior forward for the Jaguars. And Luciana Bianchi, the forward, the junior, a big hockey family in Jefferson. The Bianchi family has been around a long time, I'm sure a relative. And last, you got number 17, Kayla Jungworth, a freshman, starting for the Jaguars. Here comes the Park Hopkins announcements, and it's fun to see these girls out there, Chad, on a beautiful night.
Sure is.
And that's Emily Bolin, the senior goalie. And that's Kaylee Q-Michael, the senior defense, coming out with one of the new little girl skaters for Park to the blue line. Catherine Kessica, the freshman, just an 8th grader who's made this varsity team.
Number 22, Aaron Brousseau.
And Aaron Brousseau, the freshman, 9th grader, coming out in the starting lineup as well.
Mary Gleason.
And then the junior forward, Mary Gleason.
And at forward, senior, number 20, Catherine Fredrickson.
And Catherine Fredrickson, the senior forward as well.
Coached by Chris Erickson.
Chris Erickson, the head coach of the Hopkins Park team. And Paul, if you're okay, I'd love to stay up because the band is here. St. Louis Park Band has joined us tonight. It's wonderful to see them here. And we're going to take a minute to honor our country, and we'll be back in just a minute as we enjoy the band.
You're always trying to keep your kids safe, right? What about preventing concussion? Concussion can happen anywhere, on a sports field, at the park, even at home. So you need to know the ABCs. Assess the situation, be alert for signs and symptoms, and contact a healthcare professional. Most kids recover completely, but seek care to help them get better faster. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. Keep kids safe. It's as simple as ABC.
Welcome back to The Rock. I'm John Basil. This is Chad Nichols, and we just had the national anthem performed by the St. Louis Park Band. It's got this crowd ready to go for an exciting night tonight, Chad.
Absolutely. I think the girls are ready. They were fortunate. I talked to the coach before the game. He brought them out here yesterday for a practice and got used to the elements. So I think that's going to be an advantage for the Park Hopkins girls tonight.
Sure will. Now we're going to have a ceremonial puck drop. And we're very fortunate to have Jennifer Potter here to help with that puck drop. And I think she's accompanied by Council Member Mavity. A little bit about Jennifer Potter, American ice hockey player, very well decorated, United States Women's National Ice Hockey Team. She won a gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics. silver medals at the 2002 Winter Olympics, and in 2010 won the silver as well, and a bronze medal in the 2006. As Jennifer drops the puck, she currently is playing for the Minnesota Whitecaps in the Western Hockey League, and she's very active in St. Louis Park hockey. So very nice to have Jennifer Potter here to drop the puck for these girls tonight, and again accompanied by Ann Mavity, the local council member, Chad. It's a fun event, and they're ready to drop the real puck now, Chad, and get her going.
Yeah, here we go. 17 minutes in the first period, and let's get it going. The girls are 2-1, right, John?
2-1 coming in. The Jaguars 1-1. I would expect a pretty good tilt. I'd give a little advantage to the Hopkins Park crew, being at their home rink, an exciting night outside, a good crowd.
Yep.
And so I would think that will give a little bit edge to Hopkins Park, but it's going to be a battle out there. These games always are.
I think so too. The girls started. I've seen both the games on the Hopkins Park team already this year, and the girls started out a little slow, but they were playing a really good Egan team, and then got it together the last two games and have been playing outstanding, and really excited for tonight. I know the girls are excited.
Yeah, they knocked off Buffalo and then beat Orono after that tough game against Egan on the opener. And here we go, the drop of the puck. The Jaguars win the puck. They get it back to their D. They take it back in their zone and take a look, and they go D to D. And a nice forecheck by Hopkins Park, but a little bit of dangling by the D by the Jaguars. Brings it up the board, comes to Hopkins Park at the D, and they play it in deep into the Jaguar zone. They control. Mary Gleason passes it to the point. Opportunity for a shot. Nice block by the Jaguar offense to get in front of that puck and block that puck, Chad. Girls are going at it real hard right here. Here come the Jaguars coming out of their zone for the first time since the opening draw, and they put it deep into the Hopkins Park zone. And that's Aaron Brousseau plays it up to the far wing. And the Jaguars put in a little pressure, and they get the first switch. And Hopkins Park just puts it out because they're ready for a switch, and Gleason does a nice job of putting it deep without icing the puck, and it comes back to center ice. So far, the Jaguars are not afraid to get their body involved in the play just to kind of block out the girls, which is a smart play. There's no checking in girls hockey, but they certainly can use body position and get in the way if the person has the puck. It won't be called interference. Here's the Jaguars. They break it out to their left wing. That could be icing if it goes past it, and they waved it off. Said that the Brousseau could have got to that puck was the referee's decision there. Now it comes to their D, and they try to break it out. There's a scrum along the boards, and Hopkins Park does get it out to the center zone, to the neutral zone. So here we go. It's up along the far zone, and it's dumped in deep, and D to D, and it goes deep into the zone, and we're having some guests join us in the booth, and we'll be working them in and out as the play continues. I'm joined by Jenny Potter, who we gave a nice history earlier today when you were doing the ceremonial drop, Jenny, so they know who you are, and welcome to the booth. And I feel very honored to be next to you as we enjoy this first outdoor girls high school game at the Rec. And there's an icing by Hopkins Park. So tell me a little bit. We got to break in the action. Fun to be here. Fun to see this facility.
Yeah, it's awesome. This is what I grew up playing outside hockey, and this is it's a great facility. And I've been watching it be built, and first game I've seen out here. But this is awesome.
It is a nice facility. It just gets the adrenaline going just from seeing something like this. And Hopkins Park, we'll get back to the play and we'll chat a little more here. Hopkins Park puts it deep into the Jaguar zone. It comes high to the point, and that goes off the turnbuckle, which gives a little protection against the glass next to the pillar. And behind the net, Hopkins Park controls, and they're bringing it up. That's number 13, Catherine Kasika, as she comes up to the zone. Turnover in the neutral zone, comes back to the Hopkins Park D, and they pulled it back to the zone. So far, the game has been pretty even. What have you thought?
Yeah, it's been back and forth, and again, this is a great facility. It's great lighting, and looks like the ice is pretty fast. So it's a up and back game. So this is exciting. It
is. You know what's interesting about the outdoor rink? They've got, instead of the normal dasher board that's red or blue down at the base, this is white because they don't want the heat being absorbed and melting the ice. So a little bit of a different look. and there's an ice by Hopkins Park, so this face-off will come back to the left of the Hopkins Park goaltender. So what are you doing now? What's your activity?
I'm just got back into town. I'm the new head coach of Team Slovakia, the national program, as well as another national team.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And you reside?
I reside not too far from this rink. I live in Southwest Minneapolis.
Nice, nice. So she's very close to the rink, and it's nice to have you back and still being active in hockey. And once it's in your blood, it's tough to get it out, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is great. My son's 10, so he skates quite a bit outside. So we'll be looking to skate here quite often.
Yeah, it's great. You know, this ice, when the third sheet was built, and of course this is a multi-purpose facility, so it can be used for other things as well, but during the winter when it's used for hockey, so far there's been no problem booking this ice.
Yeah.
People want to play at this facility and enjoy the amenity that's in St. Louis Park.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great facility, so it's exciting. I actually have a nephew that lives in Arizona, and they're telling me they have a tournament they're coming up and playing at this outdoor rink in February, so it looks like it's being used very efficiently.
Yeah, I get a little bit of the input from some of the city staff, and they say any hour that's open, it seems someone's calling and wanting to book it, even if they're not from St. Louis Park or the surrounding suburbs want it. Everybody wants the experience of playing here at the Rock.
Yeah, this is a great rink.
Yeah. There's a nice stop by our senior goalie Bolin to keep it 0-0, and it's screened, but it's in front of her, and good job by the Hopkins Park defense to clear the zone, as there was just a fury of shots by the Jaguars at about 5 minutes into the first period. Right now the Hopkins Park applying the forecheck hard, trying to keep it into the zone. Jaguars are trying to move it D to D. They do, and they're moving it up to their left wing. Now they go to a center breakout, and it's a tip that will be ice because it hit before the red line. So we got about 6 minutes into the first period, 0-0, and shots a little bit maybe the Jaguars' favor. It seems Hopkins Park has had the advantage of where they are on real estate, but it's certainly been, they've had trouble getting the puck to the net.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the Jefferson side, but it looks like Hopkins turning it up here a little bit.
They sure are. The Jaguars control the face-off. They bring it out to the wing, up to the center. And nice job by Mary O'Neill stepping up and breaking up that pass in the neutral zone. Comes back into the Jaguars zone. And a nice play by, that's Hanley, I believe, on 22. Aaron Brousseau, taking a good look and just shooting it over the net. Comes behind the net. Hopkins Park pinches down, holds the zone. Doesn't have a lot of support, and that'll give the Jaguars a chance to take control. Nice forecheck, and the goalie for Jaguars will just take a break in the action, as Hopkins Park was certainly applying the forecheck in that shift. You can see the replay, and a nice job by the Jaguars there, Jenny, to just not get burned, because they were certainly outnumbered deep in the zone. Face-off is won by the Jaguars, but quickly take control as Hopkins Park along the far wing. They psycho it down deep to the left of the goaltender. And Beaton fights hard for it against the Jaguars. Comes out to Kylie Hanley. They're looking to get it to Hanley, their leading scorer, number 10. Nice pinch on the D. Hanley backs her up. And Beaton provides some puck support there. Comes back to the Jaguars' defense. That'll give them a little bit of room to move it D to D and try to break the puck out. Nice shot by Hanley. Rebound almost comes right to her. And she pinches off the Jaguar. Tries to pull it around them, but they just could not keep control of the puck. Hopkins Park gets a partial change. Comes back to number 13, Kasika, and she moves it up to the right wing, and she puts it deep. Could have been played. We'll see if they call ice or not, and they are going to call ice, and that'll bring a face-off back to the right of the senior goaltender Bolin for Hopkins Park. What do you think, Jane?
Hey, it's one of my. It was my first high school game this season, so glad I'm able to get out here and watch some
how was it doing the ceremonial puck drop for this facility?
Oh, it's great. Like I said, this is an unbelievable facility. I saw when they had the plans and we're starting to build it. So I was really excited for the facility to be built, and now it's here, and I'm excited to actually get out and skate on it and take my son out there. So this is great to see a high school game being played here. Like I said, the lighting's great. I mean, it's perfect atmosphere for a hockey game. It's not, luckily it's not minus temperatures right now.
Right. You know, it
seems like we're inside a rink,
right,
to be honest.
And you know, in being that it's so nice to have a girls hockey high school game open up in this rink for the first high school game. I had 2 daughters who played girls high school hockey for St. Louis Park, and I just love to see good people watching at home. It's such a fun, great winter activity. You learn life lessons. You get lifelong friends, and you can probably talk about that. And it's just a great sport for young females.
Oh, I just love that this is a community-based rink, and it is a faceted community center as far as pool and rinks and parks. So it's one thing I love about it. And yeah, I mean, that's what sports is supposed to teach our young, is life lessons in life. And so this is a great sport that, you know, I love teaching values of life, obviously, and this is my choice of sport, sport of choice. And obviously there's many other sports, but of course in Minnesota it's hard to choose any other but hockey.
Yeah, and so, you know, and obviously you staying in the game and continuing to be involved. Here's a break for the Jaguars. They're driving into the Hopkins Park zone. Nice defensive play by number 5, Kumichael, who's a senior, and the Hanley's out there. The Hanley line has been very nice save by Bolin, the Hopkins Park goaltender, being the face-off to her left. Hanley, number 10, I believe, is going to UMD, and she has done a nice job.
Yeah, very nice job.
Nice job of leading this team so far. My daughter's had an opportunity to play with her a few years ago. Very talented player, and certainly a leader as well.
Going to my alma mater. So.
I know. So do you ever get a chance to get back up there, or some of your old hockey? I'm sure you keep in contact with players you played with.
Oh, for sure. I'm actually being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I haven't been able to get back the last couple of years, so this is the year.
And what a wonderful honor, you know, and certainly I think up there you won a national championship.
Yep, 3 national championships.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And of course, success at the Olympic level. We talked a little bit about that when you're dropping the puck. So I mentioned your background and the success you had. And I didn't know about the new job that you're doing coaching. So that must just be exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
We just had our first national team camp. We played Poland, had 2 wins there, and we have a lot to work on, but very exciting. The kids are great to work with, and some really solid hockey players that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, it really does. You know, you get a group of young female athletes together, and it takes the time to get them to bond too, to know where each other is on the ice and to figure it all out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know, they're willing to work hard, and they're great kids to work with. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, coming up the wing was Bianchi, number 15, and that's I have to believe, I didn't check it, but I have probably relation to the Bianchi family, most likely.
That was my first thought when there was announcements for the lineup, but.
Right, a lot of Bianchis came through the Jefferson program all the way back to their father coaching in the late 70s and 80s to brothers, and then now the kids on both the female, but primarily I've seen the Bianchis playing on the high school hockey on the girls' side. So pretty exciting to see the tradition of that family continue. Certainly a big name in Minnesota hockey. This face-off with about 7 minutes left in the first period will come to the left of the Jaguars goalie, and that's Hanley on the face-off. She wins it cleanly back to the D. It's put in deep behind the Jaguars net, and they'll ring it around the boards, and unable to hold is Hopkins Park, and it comes out to the neutral zone. That's Kasika. She moves it up to Hanley. Hanley hits her right winger, and she's got her left winger, Gleason, breaking for the net, and they just called offsides on a tight call. Very tight call, but I think it was accurate.
Yeah, it's close, but got to move that puck up.
Yep. There's the far side, and you can't see the player on the near side, which was Gleason. I think Gleason was expecting a pass coming across there, So took a step and then tried to hold up, but by that time it was offsides. That's Fredrickson tags up and will go in on the forecheck. Katie Fredrickson will go in hard. And I haven't seen Katie play in a couple years. She's gained size, strength, and speed. And the Jaguars put it deep into the Hopkins Park zone with about 6 minutes left in the first period. So up to the far wing. Hopkins Park has an opportunity to headman the puck, and missed opportunity there up to 20, which would have been up to Fredrickson, who was waiting for the pass. So a couple times, I'm sure Chris Erickson, who I know well, the coach of Hopkins Park, will talk to the girls a little bit about making sure they headman that puck when they have that opportunity. It'll move the puck up quicker and be able to allow them to take the offensive zone.
That's absolutely right. And something else is it's always easier from up above.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look at Hanley's speed. She goes in and she scores. Hanley takes it coast to coast. I believe she did get a pass from the defense in early, and then Hanley just turned on the Jets, went coast to coast, buried the biscuit, and Hopkins Park takes a 1-0 lead at the Rock. And you can see Hanley's speed, drives around the outside, beats the defense, pulls it in, and goes 5-hole on the goalie. Actually went far post on the goalie and puts it in to take a 1-0 lead for Hopkins Park. That's a beautiful, beautiful goal.
Very nice goal.
See, Jenny, when you get old like me and you sit in the booth, you get to say how easy the game is from up here,
That's
right? It comes back to the Hopkins Park defense, and that's Kasika, but strong forecheck, and she'll pick up a penalty. Probably didn't see her number 5 behind her based on how fast that play came, and made probably a pretty good, if you're going to take a penalty, that could have been a break for the Jaguars. Yeah. So if you certainly don't want a penalty in the offensive zone here. She was worried she was going to get by her and have a breakaway. Not a bad penalty based on what had happened with the turnover. So this will give the Jaguars a power play, and the faceoff will come to the left of Bolin in the Hopkins Park zone. Nice win by Hopkins Park. They try to ring it out, but good job by the Jaguars D getting over to the far boards. The Jaguars control down deep, and they're trying to set up their power play. A little bit of pressure, running a little bit of overload. They got someone in front, and there's a missed shot, and that'll allow Brousseau to go hard on the puck. She goes hard. Jaguars gain control as they got one more player as they're on the power play. And Hanley's goal was unassisted, so took it coast to coast. She is the leading scorer for Hopkins Park this year. Has been, I think, for several years. And here comes the Jaguars in deep again, trying to set up that power play with about 18 seconds left in it. And about 4 minutes and a half in the first period with a 1-0 lead for Hopkins Park. It comes high to the point, goes over to the far wing. And the Jaguars, that's Bianchi, trying to bring it across the middle, and a nice defensive play by number 7, Rich. And they put it deep, and Brousseau goes in on the forecheck and wins that race. And will try to tie it up, hits to Gleason. Oh, and what a stop by the goaltender. As Mary Gleason had it point blank in the high slot, and a beautiful stop by the Jaguars goaltender to keep the score 1-0. And they'll ice it down again as 41 seconds left in that penalty. I said 19 earlier. I've got a little bar right between at the Rock, between the number 1 there. So it's a little bit hard to see that penalty
30
clock.
seconds.
30 seconds left. So I can't quite see the minute counter, Jenny, but so I just wanted the Park to get back to full strength right away.
A lot sooner.
A lot sooner. I wanted half that penalty. The Jaguars control, bring it high to the point, over to the wing, and a little bit of give and goal play, but nothing's home there. Is good defense by Hopkins Park. And Jaguars gain control again, and they'll try to set something up here with a few seconds left in their power play. And they're going to try to crash the net, but that goes off the side of the net and behind the net, and Hopkins Park kills off the first power play of the game, and they're back to full strength, which is equalizes it, and still 1-0 Hopkins Park with about 3 minutes left in the first period. Here comes Hanley, the only goal scorer of the game so far, and she battles along the far boards right in front of her own bench. It's pulled back by Gleason and thrown deep up to number 20, Fredrickson. Fredrickson takes a shot, was going wide. The goalie came out and played it to set it up for her defense, and Hopkins will go for a wholesale change and that'll allow the Jaguars to break out to the neutral zone. And Hopkins Park puts it deep, but they dumped it in right before the red line, which brings an icing. Well, it's an exciting game so far, Jenny.
It is. It is. Like to see some more breakaways.
I know, yeah. for the white and orange team.
Yes,
yeah, white,
of course.
white, orange, and blue team.
I like an exciting game that goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Although it looks like Hopkins Park has taken over most of the game right now.
They sure have. So tell me a little bit about the schedule of the team you're coaching. What's the commitment?
We have some national team camps where we have a couple games. World Championships will be in April, so that's our big target, is to move up in the rankings in World Championships. Obviously, we'd love to win it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a challenge because they just moved up into this pool.
So each pool you move, it gets tougher and tougher, right? But
right.
you want them to be challenged, and that's what makes it fun.
That's right. So like I said, we got some work to do, but it's exciting. The kids are working hard, and they learn quite a bit. So we have another camp in December, and we're excited. We're just putting some stuff together for that camp. And
so the number of, what do you think about, besides the camps and all that? I mean, that's a lot of commitment you got to give to that team.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It's you know, there's a lot of factors at play in Slovakia. One, it's a foreign country to me, so I don't.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the landscape of girls hockey there and trying to grow the sport and bring the level up. And then there's some players that play outside Slovakia, whether they actually got one player at St. Scholastica. So they're all over the map too. So it's a good thing, but it's also can be a challenge.
But very rewarding too.
Very rewarding. So it's exciting to work with another country and help bring up the level and get to know some more players. And of course, when I played at Duluth, we had a lot of international players. So I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of different players from all around the world and the cultural differences, and that was exciting.
And it's nice that you can return that to the game, and and just like we talked about, whether it's a high school girls team, college, Olympics, international, the young ladies, the girls in high school hockey, and they all get to bond and they get to know each other and they become lifelong friends.
That's right. There's a lot of things that can be learned in the sport of hockey, and obviously I love the sport and playing it, but beyond that, there's friendships for life and different cultures. Like I said, I got to meet and play with people from Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, and all over the world. So it's been great when you go to another place that you know some people.
Yeah, very, very neat. We got about a minute left in the first period here. And again, I'm joined in the booth by Jenny Potter, and I'm John Basil, and we got a minute left in the first. And then we're going to do a little bit of history about this rink, and we're hoping Hopkins Park can hang on to at least take a lead into the first intermission, as they've come out and they've really taken, as Jenny said, control of this game. And here's a pass over to Brusso at the Jaguar line. Nice play by the Jaguar defense to poke it back to the neutral zone. And along the far boards comes Rich. She puts it deep. That's Gleason going in hard. Brusso's looking for a pass out of the far side. Nice defensive play to hold it back into the Jaguar zone with about 30 seconds left. Hopkins Park is looking to add to that 1-goal lead before the end of the period. There's a scrum behind the net. Jaguars are content just to kind of pile on it, but nice job by Gleason getting out. She's going to come around, look for a stuff, comes right in front. Brusso just can't find the handle. The Jaguars take it behind the net, and they're going to ring it around with 11 seconds. It does come outside the zone. That will be offsides. They'll have to tag up. They do tag up with 5 seconds, and that'll bring us to the end of the first period in just a second here. Nice job by the Jaguars to run out the clock with the score. Hopkins Park 1, the Jaguars nothing. Jenny, I can't thank you enough for coming by the booth.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I thank you very much for coming out and doing the ceremonial puck drop. This is a big event for us and for our community, and this is a big rink, and a lot of people had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
and
it's
so,
exciting.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming by, and I'm going to grab this thing, and we're going to switch out to Mr. Nichols, who's going to talk about it. Good luck to your team. It's been very nice having you, and thanks again for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
All right. This is John Basil, and this is Jenny Potter, and we're very lucky to have her join us for first period action to do our ceremonial puck. Thanks again. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this rink real quick. And I'm going to be joined back by Chad Nichols, because we've got a full night of activity here at the Rock. And as we'll get Kurt to give us a little zoom, and we'll talk. We'll start with a little bit of the history of this facility. So back over a decade ago, this beautiful drawing and painting was done by Peter Bolin, a local St. Louis Park resident. And if anybody can recognize where this is at the bottom of Excelsior and Grand, between Excelsior and Grand and the Rec Center, and behind the amphitheater. There's actually a warming house there that at one time was designed to go down to the creek, and there was going to be outdoor skating. What we soon found out was that creek doesn't really freeze very well because there's a lot of runoff that goes into that waterway there. So the idea was maybe we put an outdoor rink over there. Well, it became economically not as feasible just because of the compressors and all that is what is needed, and that particular land has a lot of methane from years ago coming through. So some early work done by Steve Rosine, Andy Neudecker, Peter Bolin on the drawing to really have a vision of an outdoor rink that was refrigerated in St. Louis Park. With that, now I'll come back to Chad, and we'll talk a little bit after that vision happened. There was a committee put together by the Hockey Association of Blois Olson, Chad Nichols, who's sitting next to me, Joe Arco, Sage Ryder, Sean Moran, Paul Wademacher, and they started to work on a different vision. And it was really a collaboration of that committee along with city staff that worked hard to say, could this be possible? Once that vision came true, Jason, I shouldn't even start naming people, because if I do, I'll miss someone, but certainly the committee, and then of course it was going to the council and getting their buy-in and approval for a joint private-public partnership, and the end result, we got a beautiful rock, what we call the Rock, the Recreational Outdoor Center, approved by the council and then eventually built, and the roof went on it this summer, and this spring there'll be turf laid out here for young soccer players and outdoor summer sports before the ground is ready outdoor, where it's still soft and wet in the spring. So Chad, comments to make on this beautiful facility?
Sure. You know, I think what's most exciting about it is the vision originally was we needed more ice in St. Louis Park for St. Louis Park hockey, but we kind of came to the realization that we wanted a facility that was not just for hockey. It was a multi-purpose facility. So the idea from the original drawing kind of transferred to what could we do to bring a facility to this community that could be used not just for hockey, but for car shows, dog shows, whatever. And it just became a process that got more involved and more excited. The more people got involved, we really came together.
Yeah, and one person that I mentioned outside of the city staff and council, it was Steve Morelli, who worked on the design of this. And you know, people comment on just how beautiful this facility is. There's a few other rinks like this up in Coon Rapids, our neighbor to Edina to the south, but I don't think anything quite has the architectural design that this one has.
That's right.
Right, and Chad, we're going to bring in Jason Eisolt, and he's going to join us, and he is, of course, the man in charge of this multiplex facility now at the Rec, and Jason has the big job of not only managing the two rinks that were here already, but now he's got a third rink to be in charge of. Jason, and we told a little bit of the story of the history of this rink, what happened, the collaboration between the city and the Hockey Association to bring this. What's your impressions of the facility so far?
Speechless, to be honest. It's just a wonderful, wonderful venue for obviously hockey. And there's just so many other things that we're able to do now. As I'm sure you guys have heard, you've talked about just special events in the spring and summer. It's got turf options for the spring, for those spring sports events that struggle to get outside because of snow and ice. And then obviously it's the dry floor options for concerts. I can't count how many times we used this venue this summer for backup for rain due to our summer concert series getting rained out over at the amphitheater next year. So
they were able to set up a stage pretty quickly.
Yep.
and then get people under the dome here.
Yep.
And instead of people not being able to listen to music, they're able to be in here.
Absolutely. It worked out phenomenal.
It truly is I think, early on, because you were involved and I was involved in the process, you looked and you just knew that this facility would be more than a hockey rink, and truly it is. Absolutely.
There's no question with that. Hockey's obviously a big part of it. In the wintertime, that's just Minnesota. But yeah, there's so much more for that spring and summertime that this venue provides. And we're excited just for the other options that people are calling and finding out about that they can use it for. So this summer, I'm sure we'll have some more exciting new opportunities that'll present itself.
Right. Now, let me ask you about this. What do you think the chances are of the outdoor Minnesota outdoor hockey game coming here? Do we have a shot at it?
I think we do. There has been some discussions. Nothing's been confirmed, but we're doing our best to kind of see what we can do, get our name on that short list, and see what we can do here for the upcoming seasons.
Yeah, I think it, obviously would be a huge thing to land. Very difficult. Every community wants it.
Very
because
competitive, yep.
It brings a lot of people into your community.
Yep.
They spend a lot of money, and the economic impact is good.
Yep.
And frankly, the exposure you get, since it's on, the major network TVs
Yep.
throughout, and there's a lot of promos up. The Wild support it, others support it. It's really, it's a tough game to get, but it would be very cool to get it here someday.
And just like we were just talking about, it's so much more than just that game. It is almost more of a community festival at that time of year. So it's exciting to kind of, not just for the hockey perspective, but just for what it could do to the St. Louis Park community.
It sure would. And you get out-of-town teams, so, that's close to my heart as
Yep.
it brings people in from out of town.
Absolutely.
And it spends a lot of money within St. Louis Park. That's always a good thing for our community.
Yep.
And so I hope we get it someday, and it's not easy.
Nope.
And, of course, it would be probably the first one they did with a roof.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Because
there's nothing like this around, that's for sure.
Yeah, most of the time they pick a rink or they build something outside,
Yep.
and they don't quite have the dome over it.
Correct.
But,
Yep.
That would make it really, really exciting, and they wouldn't have to worry about as much about rain or sleet or
Absolutely.
snow depending on winter
Yeah,
conditions.
it takes out those elements, absolutely.
Well, good. Any other comments that you have so far in its first season with the dome?
Just there's a lot of opportunity for open skates on the weekend, so if people are looking for that, they can obviously check the website out. Open skating is Friday evenings, 5:30 to 7, and then Saturdays and Sundays from 11:45 to 2:15. And that's consistent, so we've got that going on each weekend. And what's really cool, and I think the part of it is obviously there's groups that rent the ice exclusively, but when it's not rented exclusively, it's basically just like a park rink.
Yep.
So this isn't enclosed or secured off. Come on over, skates and sticks or whatever you guys want to do. It's just kind of open for a public rink. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. So right after school, you're seeing kids at 3:15, 3:30 come on over here. They're just playing, picking up who's ever showing up and playing. And the same thing too on the weekends, early morning or later in the afternoon, again, when it's not rented. People are finding out, word's getting out, and it's just turning into this huge kind of mecca of get-together for playing hockey and just skating in general.
Jason, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to comment on that. That is one of the wonderful features here is we have other outdoor rinks in the city, but they're really conditioned upon weather, and they have a very limited season. And this allows people to get activity, get physical exercise during the winter, because when this isn't rented, it's open for the public just
Absolutely.
like any outdoor rink.
Yep.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I know my family takes advantage of it. Even I do, believe
Yep.
it or not.
Yeah.
As you've seen me sneak out here when it's not
For
open.
sure.
So it's a great way to stay in shape. It's a great way.
Yep.
I got to get out here more, as you can tell. But it's
You and me both.
but it's fun to be out here. Well, Jason, I thank you very much for all
Absolutely.
your hard work.
Yep.
And again, I want to thank the committees, the original committee that had the vision down over by Wolf Park,
Yep.
to the next committee that worked on it here, to the council, to the staff that worked so hard on this, and residents will enjoy this for years. And it's a landmark in our community already. And not that St. Louis Park was on the map, but one other thing that has put St. Louis Park as really a world-class suburb of Minneapolis.
Absolutely, no question about it.
Thanks, Jason. We're
Thanks,
going to
John.
take a brief break, and then we're going to come back for the start of the second period. I'm John Bazo. I was with Jason Eisout and Jenny Potter earlier. We're at the end of one period with the score. Hopkins Park 1, Bloomington Jefferson 0 at the first ever high school hockey game at the Rock.
Introducing a breakthrough in time management technology. A whole new day of the week. It's called Someday. ingenious. Perhaps someday you are going to go skydiving. Enter a hot dog eating contest. Maybe ride a mechanical bull. Now, it's on the calendar. You may want to retire someday. Ready for that? You'll really want this. A My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits, plan for your retirement, and how to save for it. If you already receive benefits, you can manage them online. Millions of people already have a My Social Security account. In fact, someone opens one about every 6 seconds. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
Welcome back to the Rock for Minnesota State High School girls hockey action. We're coming back for the start of the second period with Hopkins Park up 1-0 over the Jaguars. And we just had a great intermission with the St. Louis Park band playing hard and keeping this crowd energized between periods. It's an electrifying feeling as the cameras go out across the ice. You don't see much across the ice as all the fans are here, but it's a nice crowd here tonight and a great high school action. And we get ready to see how Hopkins Park does in the second period. They did a nice job in the first period taking control of the game, but they're only up 1-0 at this point. The Jaguars did get a lot of action on their first power play that they had, and the puck is dropped and the Jaguars win the draw, and it comes up to the wing, but Hopkins Park takes control, tries a breakout. Nice job in the neutral zone by Brousseau to get it away from Bianchi. Gleason puts it deep, and they wave off the icing, and the Jaguar goalie makes a nice play right to the D to break it up to their right wing, and now they got a 2-on-1, and that's Bianchi on the far wing looking for a pass, but a shot is taken by her teammate, and nice job by Bolin making that stop to keep it at 0 for the Jaguars. Comes out high to the point. The Jaguars put it in, and they will be onside here. And another shot on net, and the puck is right in the crease, but beautiful defensive play by Kumichael to get it out of that crease for the Hopkins Park squad. Chad Nichols, it's been an exciting first few minutes, I'd say first minute of the second period here, as there's been a couple opportunities by the Jaguars and some nice stops by Bolin. And me and Chad Nichols here during the second period. It goes in deep behind the net. The Jaguars are still pressuring hard, so they've come out with some fury, but cannot hold the point. Comes out to center ice, and that's Fredrickson giving pressure. And it comes up the wing to Gleason, and she plays it back to her D, and now they just put it deep, and Hanley comes out looking for some offensive presence for Hopkins Park, as they've been bottled up by the Jaguars since the drop of the puck. Here comes the Jaguars again into the slot, but Hopkins Park has 4 defenders right in front of the goaltender, in front of their house, protecting it well. Jaguars keep control D to D, and Hanley tries to put a forecheck on, but they can work it up the boards. Comes back again to the Jaguars. A lot of neutral zone battles here, and a little bit of physical play by the Jaguars. Hanley steals the puck. She's going in. She's got the only goal, and she scores again. And Hanley, nice move, takes advantage of a Jaguar defensive turnover, drives the net hard from the left side of the goaltender, comes across from her right to left and puts it in the far side, puts Hopkins Park up 2-0, and Hanley just continues to deliver for this team as the senior forward has both goals for Hopkins Park's Chad.
Yeah, she's really a dynamic player, and things can happen so quickly, as we just saw there.
Yeah, beautiful play for her, and she was unassisted. Both goals by Hanley have been unassisted here tonight at the Rock. And the Jaguars goalie will hold on to that as Brousseau is coming in hard for the rebound. Is Luke going to join us?
Yeah.
Unassisted. 1:55.
So to minute 55 of the second period, Hanley puts the Hopkins Park squad up by 2. But will be offsides if it's played by a Park player, but the Jaguars get control, take it outside of the blue line. And here comes Jaguars. They started with a fury and really had taken control in that second period, but then a defensive turnover let Hanley just take the momentum right away from the Jaguars, and they're trying to get it back. Here they come with a point-blank slot. A little bit of a push in the center, but no call by the referee, which is to Hopkins Park advantage. They put it deep in the zone, goes behind the Jaguars net, and there'll be a scrum for it over in the far corner. The Jaguars break it up. This is Bianchi, tries to get it out, but cannot clear the zone. They try again, and there's a battle in neutral zone with Gleason playing tough hockey, and here comes Hanley off the bench, and she's going to wind it up again. She takes a look, and she fires. And a nice save by the goaltender as Hanley was going 5-hole on that. Now the Hopkins Park works it D to D. Shot, tip, beautiful tip. Hanley on the rebound. It's right there, and there it is. Mary Gleason with an assist from Hanley, and I believe number 5, Kumichael, will get the 3rd assist. So beautiful play. And Gleason right there, standing right where you want to do. You want to, when you get that puck in that close in, you want to put it in right in the upper shelf into the cookie jar, and she did. Chad, beautiful goal. Great team effort. That's the kind of hockey play you want to see, as it started with a tip, rebound, and another rebound. So great play. We'll see, make sure we get the assist right, but Gleason on the goal. Here come the Jaguars. Jaguars win the draw. So Hopkins Park goes up 3-0 here, Chad. And really, after a fury to begin with by the Jaguars right off the drop of the puck. And there's Bianchi. She's going to bring it to her D. They're going to work it down deep. Jaguars trying to set something up, trying to get that pressure back.
For the Royal, number 16, Mary Gleason. Assist number 7, Charlotte Riggs.
Charlotte with the assist on that. Charlotte's just a freshman, one of 2 freshman starters for the Hopkins Park team, which is, we're a really good mix of young and old on this team. I think that it's gonna prove that this team's gonna learn all year long and just get better and better.
It's very exciting to see the different girls and the different grades. It goes well for the program going forward. It was Gleason from Rich and Hanley on the goals, or for the assists. So I think I had named Kumichael, but I think it was actually, you only can have 2 assists on a goal, and the original one was the tip, then the rebound by Hanley, and then Gleason. So that's why Rich, Hanley, and Gleason teamed up for a great team goal to take the lead 3-0. This faceoff will come to the left of Bolin in the nets for the Orioles. Here's Russo coming up, and she puts it in deep. I got to give a little shout out to one of my girls' favorite coaches, St. Louis Park resident, who's watching tonight, and that's Charlie McChesney. And Charlie had an opportunity, and of course, Chad, you remember him fondly as well.
Absolutely.
Did a great job with this program. Former head coach of the Orioles. It's right in the slot, just a missed opportunity. Is a great defensive play by the Jaguars, lifting the stick. Great save by the Jaguars goalie, and she continues to be pretty solid, as certainly the Orioles are as McLean has been doing a nice job in the Jaguar net, even with a 3-0 lead. And there's just a collision. Both girls ran into each other. There'll be no penalty on that, as it was inadvertent. And there's no ice on this, as it went off a Hopkins Park player. It comes back to the right of Bolin, and it comes up to the wing. And here comes Hanley, who's got 2 today and an assist. She's got a 3-point night going on right now. And stepping up, and a nice play by Hopkins Park. And that was Amanda Olson, I believe, on that play. Oh, no, and the Jaguars got a 2-on-0 potential. Hopkins Park coming back hard. And here they go, tries to pass across fans. Rebound tip just goes over the crossbar. Bolin was in good position, but one of the better opportunities for Jaguars to try to break that goose egg. Hopkins Park takes no chances, ices the puck, and this faceoff will come to the left of Bolin with 11:06 left in the second period, Chad.
Those defenders really recovered early on that, saw that breakaway coming, and drove right to the net to stop that play.
Yeah, very nice job. Nice job by the D getting back quick, because it was a 2-on-0 at center in the neutral zone. Nice shot by the Jaguars, gets tipped, but gets tipped to the right of the Park goalie, comes out high. Hopkins Park, nice shot on net. And that was Rich, who's got a little helper on one tonight. She's behind the net, trying to stick handle from her knees. Comes high to the point. Nice pinch by Hopkins Park. Nice fill-in by Brusso back at D. Now she'll try to pinch, but nice Rich is there to help out. So what's really nice about Hopkins Park right now is when one does pinch, someone's filling in behind. If they pinch, someone is filling in behind. Great defensive play there by Hopkins Park to make sure the Jaguars don't get an odd woman rush. Nice shot by number 12, and that's beaten for the Orioles. And here come the Jaguars, and they're going to put it in deep and get a change. That does go on net, and you can hear Coach Erickson telling the Hopkins girls to move it up very quickly, which they do. Nice play by number 7. That's Rich to tip it, so there's no ice. Now Hopkins Park gets a full line change, so you got 5 fresh players for Hopkins Park and 5 fresh players for the Jaguars, with about 10 minutes left in the second period. Little bouncing puck gives a little trouble to Brousseau, the captain of the Hopkins Park team, one of the captains. There's Hanley again with the puck. She's going to settle it down, brings it high to the point, can't handle that pass, and the Jaguars are coming in hard, and they're going to get an opportunity here for a 3-on-2. The nice drop pass to Bianchi, but she is picked. Her pocket is picked by a great defensive play by O'Neill. Here comes Hopkins Park, and they'll just put it deep. That's Beaton puts it deep so that there can be another full change by the Hopkins Park team to keep fresh legs out there. Here it is behind the net. Hopkins Park tries to break it out. Jaguars definitely forechecking heavy as they're down 3-0, but Hopkins Park does get it out. There's going to be no ice here, as it could have been played. It was very close. The Jaguars have it behind their own net. They break it out to their right wing to the center. Nice breakout, nice one-touch passing there. The Jaguars come in on a break, tries to walk the D, but beautiful save by the goalie, and then pushes the Hopkins Park defender into the net. I don't think there'll be a call. An aggressive play by Jones of the Jaguars, but I don't think there'll be a penalty on that play. It's a brisk night out here at the Rock, though. I'll say that for mid-November, Chad.
Yeah, we saw this game on the schedule and thought, well, it could go either way. We could have a 50-degree night, or we could have a 0, and we're about halfway in between.
Yeah. It's still enjoyable. It really is. It's just a nice facility, and you see everybody bundled up and having fun. We won't go quite as far as the old Met Center, but the old Met Stadium being out there. I think that Minnesotans are used to some outdoor sports, and this is just a little flavor of it.
That's right. I think the community was excited about this game. I actually saw 2 dogs here tonight, right in the stands. That's one thing you're not going to see at the Met Center.
That's right. Here's Hanley again using her speed, taking a good look. She's going to circle around. She brings it to the high slot. Nice shot, a tip, just goes wide as the Hopkins Park, another great scoring opportunity set up by Hanley. It's put deep into the zone. There's a lot of scrum along the sideboard and comes up to the high point. And nice job of Hanley filling in as the defense had pinched in. And I just like the way Coach Chris Erickson has them playing that defensive, really astute defensive play to fill in when someone pinches. They've been doing a nice job of backing each other up. There'll be no icing here as that could be played by our defense, O'Neill. And O'Neill now is a scrum with 2 Jaguars. She pushes it forward to Hanley. Nice little push-pull play to break it out. And it's shot up to the blue line, but it is held in by the Jaguars. There's a battle, and now to the neutral zone it comes. And here come the Jaguars trying to take the zone. Little hesitation, another drop pass. Jaguars like to use that shot. Rebound in front, but a great job by Kumichael to clear the rebound out in front of Bolin, the Hopkins Park goalie. And Hopkins Park will take a potential ice. It looked like it was played by a Jaguar stick, but I don't think the referee saw that, so that'll bring the face-off back to the right of Bolin with the score. The Hopkins Park team 3 and Jefferson 0. A nice lead here midway through the second period, Chad.
Absolutely. I think solid defensive play this period. As you said, getting in the period, it looked like Bloomington was coming out hard, and Park just came together and played solid defense to keep that puck moving.
Here comes Hopkins Park. They take the zone. Rubbed out is number 12, and that's Beaton, is rubbed out by the Jaguar player. Comes high to the slot, but a nice job to hold the zone and get a shot on that. Rebound is there. Here comes Beaton, shot. A block by the D. God, I got excited there. I thought that was going to go in. Beautiful block play by the defense as the goalie was down and a little bit out of position, and a great job by Kasika holding that zone. Here comes Bianchi. She's had some opportunities here tonight, and she's taking a look. She brings it back to the center. Tried to make a nice hockey play, but that pass was just a little behind her driving center person. Here comes the Jaguars, and they're trying to jump on the Hopkins Park. And during the second period, you got that high change, or long change, I'd say, as the benches, when you switch sides, your bench is on the far side. And so when Hopkins Park made that change, it gave Jaguars a nice opportunity to break it down into the Hopkins Park zone. Here comes Hanley, and she's got two already and a helper, and she's going to try to go around, and she does get around the Jaguar defense, try to rub her out. But here comes Hanley, now settles that puck down, taking a look for a teammate, controlling the puck. She's still in deep, nice play, knew where her player was going, nice outlet pass, and there's a centering pass, but it went to the Jaguars defense. Jaguars will try to clear the zone, and they're successful in doing this. And putting it in deep for is O'Neill. O'Neill puts it in deep, and the Jaguars gain control. They go D to D up to their right wing, but a nice pinch again by O'Neill. O'Neill now going in as the defensive player, takes control, tries to center the pass. It's close, but nice job by the defense keeping it out. Hanley gets it, brings it to the point, brings it in deep. And errant pass, shot just goes wide right of the Jaguar goalie. We've got about 4.5 minutes left in the second period. Comes high. Hopkins Park, and tipped by a Jaguar player down, but luckily for the Jaguar goalie goes wide. And the Jaguar, she's had a lot of action as McLean, the Jaguar goalie. She's just going to hold on to that, get a full change with 4.5 minutes left here. You can see it bouncing. She sees the pressure. Here comes a rebound opportunity. Here's the thing, you can see it hits actually our player. Otherwise, she saw the webbing, and she was going far side for the goal. Face-off zone in the face-off in the Jaguar zone. This is Gleason. Gleason puts it behind the net. Nice opportunity to Rich. Nice centering pass by Brousseau. Rich now on the puck, works hard, brings it back to Brousseau. They're trying a little bit of cycling. Gleason in there. She's a mucker, and she gets it out to the center, and a shot just goes wide right of the Jaguar goalie. Rich to Gleason. Nice action. Gleason tries to stop. Very, very close for Gleason. I can tell you that Gleason, of course, I think all the girls, whether it was Anna Gleason or Anna Nichols, I remember my Elena liked both the Annas, Chad. That's right. So she always talks about them, and she had an opportunity to play a little with Gleason, with your daughter as well, and she always talks about them. And of course, with names like that, it's easy for her to remember because of her sister. So, so that's icing on Hopkins Park. With a 3-0 lead with 3.5 minutes left in the second period. Hopkins Park is taking full control of this game, and they want to they certainly want to work hard to keep the Jaguars off the board. This puck comes over to the left of Bolin, Hopkins Park goalie. And that's a nice job by 12 to get it up to Hanley. And that was beaten up to Hanley to clear the zone. Hanley does a little Bobby Orr turn, brings it high. Big shot, nice hockey play, but blocked by the Jaguar defense. And here comes Bianchi on the far boards. And they're just going to dump it in, but it's before they took the center red line, so that'll bring an icing call back to the left of the Jaguars goalie with 3 minutes left in the second period at the Rock. Chad, what do you think so far?
Well, I tell you, I think strong defensive play is the name of this game.
Nice shot from the point. Nice win by Hanley back to her defensive core, and a nice shot on net. Hanley tries to do a little backward skate, controlling the puck and sheltering the puck and shot. Now they're the defense pick. Hanley picked up that spot. I've been most impressed with that play by Hopkins Park all game long, and it's a big reason why the Jaguars are not on the board. At this point, Hanley has it. She's just going to ice it. She was tired, and that'll bring an icing back to the left of the Hopkins Park goalie. This faceoff comes to the left of Bowen and shot right off the point. Again, that Jaguars did exactly what Hopkins Park did there, winning that draw. And if you win the draw in the offensive zone, you can oftentimes get a quick shot and an opportunity. There's a big play by the Jaguars. Center to wing, and a nice stop by Bowen. She has been on her game in the nets for Hopkins Park when the Jaguars have had opportunities. And here come the Jaguars again. This is some of their momentum that they had early in the period is coming back. This is Fredrickson coming up the far wing, and she banks it off the board. Smart play to get it into the zone and goes in hard for the play. Here comes Hopkins Park to the center zone. Nice shot, and again, a nice stop by McLean as Beeden was coming across the middle. Russo on the back check. That's Bianchi. Bianchi takes a shot, but a great job by Kumichael to block that shot. Here comes Rousseau coming up, kind of taking a look, and she puts it in deep. Smart play by her to get it over the center ice line before dumping it in. That allowed a big change for Hopkins Park. And I got Jeff Luke joining me in the booth, and he's in charge of our girls program here. And here comes the Jaguars. They got a breakaway on a shot and just goes over the top left blocker of Bolin, which keeps it 3-0 here. Hopkins Park after that great opportunity for the Jaguars. That's Hanley behind the net, and she'll take a look and try to get it out of the zone here, and she does. And so that'll allow the Hopkins Park to settle down. Jeff, thanks for joining me in the booth.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the youth as play is going on. What do you see in the youth program for the girls?
We see a lot. We see a lot of numbers. We see a lot of tremendous growth. We are seeing so many new players that come in. That's the best part. But the good thing we see too is a lot of focus on hockey development. Our girls really take our hockey serious. And the great thing here, we're watching the Hopkins St. Louis Park Co-op at high school, but this co-op started at the youth level. And this is our 5th season of the Hopkins Park program. And it's just tremendous. We've got all levels of play, A and B level plays at U10, U12. We've got 3 teams at 8 and under age as well. So we've got a lot of great hockey. We're really proud of our program here.
And you should be. And I've been watching it for years, and of course, I have daughters that are older and gone and out or at college. But the job you guys have been doing to bring this program together and to really promote girls hockey. It's a great sport for girls. Keeps them active, keeps them busy in the winter. Lifelong friends. It's fun, isn't it?
We love it. And the thing we always say, we forget who's Hopkins and who's St. Louis Park, and that's what's great about this high school co-op that we have here too, because the girls that are playing together at the youth level are excited that they get to play together as they go into high school, and that's what's going to keep these girls together playing for years to come. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and even we're seeing the high school in our first high school game at the Rock, but the youth has had several games, the young girls at this rink, and what a great experience for them.
It is. Last year we opened up the Rock. We're really proud of this. We opened it up without the roof, and that was fun, even without it. There's a little low light, but it's awesome having the structure, the full roof up here. It's absolutely beautiful in here, and it's the best ice in the whole district, so we're excited.
Isn't it amazing how many people, when it's not being used, the demands from either other communities coming in and say, we'll pay you to use your rink.
Yep.
So it's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It is quite fun.
I got Coach Erickson coming up to join me too, so I want to ask you 2 more questions.
Sure.
What do you say to the young girls at home watching this right now that want to play hockey?
First of all, there's a lot of myths in hockey, that hockey's too expensive of a sport. And I tell you what, compared to so many other school athletics, it's actually a lot cheaper than a lot of others. But we welcome them to come out. We offer a lot of Try Hockey for Free events. So either go to the St. Louis Park or the Hopkins Youth Hockey Association websites and look for our Try Hockey for Free. We'll put you in equipment. We'll get you out on the ice. We'll get you out there with these girls, and you'll be hooked. I guarantee it.
And I can tell you, as I had girls that go through the program, if you have any doubts, try it. You'll love it. It'll make the winners go fast, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks a bunch for coming by the booth. Great having you. Thanks. All right, good luck to you, the youth, the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to have Coach Chris Erickson join me in the booth, and we're just going to take a little little chat with Coach to talk about the first 2 periods. And first of all, Coach, I'm glad you agreed to this outside game because, you know, Coach has got to agree to it. And this is just what a fun atmosphere tonight.
Oh, it's fantastic. And, you know, we wanted to do one last year, and without the roof, we just got a little iffy as far as, you know, weather-wise and everything like that. But I can see this being at least a once-a-year deal. I mean, it's great. We have more people here than we do at the indoor games. So.
And, you know, it's kind of a nice atmosphere with the stands on one side. You got the band here tonight, and it's always nice when the St. Louis Park band comes out, brings an atmosphere, whether it's the Hopkins band or the St. Louis Park band on the girls' side. They get a lot of fun atmosphere because of the band.
Oh, for sure. And then all the little kids out here, I mean, it's great to see, and it's great for the program. So, I mean, it's a nice thing. And whether, you know, it's cold, but the girls are having fun, and it's quite the experience for everybody.
And it's a lot more fun when you got that 3-0 lead too, Coach.
Yeah, but, you know, it's tough guy to please every once in a while. So.
And you got 1 period to go. A couple things that I've noticed, and I would like your reflections on the first 2 periods, but I want to compliment when your D have been pinching, boy, do your wings do a nice job of backing them up. I really felt they've prevented a lot of odd man rushes for the Jaguars. Even though Jaguars have had some nice opportunities at times, they've done a nice job when someone's pinched of filling in that gap.
Right, and that's what we worked on the first couple days leading up to the Orono game, and we felt like we did a really good job there. And our third person today is a little eager. They're high, and then they sort of cheat down, and then that's what we're giving up to a few of the odd man rushes. But that's something we've been focusing on, and our D has been doing good as far as regroups and the breakouts. So it's, you know, they're working, they're doing the things that we've talked about in practice and putting it into play here. And, you know, 4 games into the season, that's nice to see.
It is nice to see. And obviously, as you work through this game, you want to continue. If you can hold out, you'll have a 3-and-run record. And, you know, most impressive has been Hanley, too. Boy, does she have speed when she wants to drive that net.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Just, you know, she's just got that extra gear, and it's like nobody can keep up with her. And, I mean, if she's not in the top 5 of Miss Hockey, there's something wrong with the deal, because I think she's the best in the state, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's certainly solid, and I've, of course, seen her for many years now, and I can't say enough about her. She's certainly the most dynamic high school girls hockey player that I've been able to watch and see.
Oh, for sure, me too. And this is I figured it out, this is my 25th year doing girls hockey, and she ranks right up there at the top, so.
What do you see in the third period, Coach?
You know, we're going to go back to basics, and, you know, we want to get it across the red line, dump, and outwork them, and, you know, keep that third person high, use our points a little bit, gain the control of the puck, and make them go the full length of the ice. But we want to keep it down there and play in there in this next 17.
What's the message you say to your team when you're up 3-0 going into the third? You're outside. It's a little bit of a chilly atmosphere. How do you keep them focused to close this game out?
You know, it's a neat thing. The experience is great. You know, we want to make sure they're having fun, but you know what? You can have fun by still doing the little basics and working hard. So that's what we're going to go in there and tell them. You know, let's finish it out. This has been a great experience for everybody. You know, and let's end it on a high note.
Tell me a little bit about your coaching staff this year. Can you introduce them? Who's helping you out?
Sure, we've got the same staff we did last year. So I've got my son is helping me, and he works with the defense, or the forwards, and then Ethan is a St. Louis Park alum, so he's working with the D. And then we have Sean McNeil is a JV coach, and we have Erin McNeil's his daughter, and Macy Leland, and they both played at Concordia. So it's nice to get the female girls in there, you know, that want to get into coaching after their playing days are done. So
yeah, we were fortunate to have the ceremonial drop of the puck by Jenny Potter tonight, and she came up and joined us in the booth for a bit, and it's nice to see the Concordia girls giving back and participating and helping young girls out, and it's really, you know, we were talking about it, how you make connections for life.
Oh, definitely, right.
So,
yeah, it's a good thing to see, and like I say, this has just been a great day, so. It's been fun.
It's been fun. Well, Coach, I'll let you get back to your team and get them ready for the third period. It's great to see you again.
All right, you too.
It's been too long.
It is.
I see some stuff on Facebook, so I keep in touch with you, what's happening with you, but I miss seeing you regularly,
You
Coach.
bet. Let's hope we can post something good after this one.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for stopping by. That was Coach Erickson stopping by the booth, and his team has got a 3-0 lead as Park Hopkins is over Jefferson after 2 periods. We're going to take a brief break with Minnesota State High School girls action. You can hear the band. The fans are enjoying it. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the start of the third period with Hopkins Park 3, Bloomington Jefferson 0. Welcome back to the Rock, and that was just the band playing the St. Louis Park Oriole Fight song as we get ready for the third period with live Minnesota Girls State High School action. Hopkins Park comes in with a 3-0 lead into the third period, and of course, as I interviewed Coach Erickson between periods, Chad, their strategy will be to take control of it, keep it down into the Jaguar zone so they cannot crawl back into this game, and Hopkins Park hopefully can hold on and go on to a 3-1 record. Here we go, and Jaguars get ready, and starting out for Hopkins Park will be Hanley at center, and she'll be flanked by Gleason on one wing, and that'll be, I believe, Rich on the other wing, and back on D, you're going to have O'Neill along with Brusso Olson playing D. And here we go, drop of the puck, and Hanley tries, but nice job by the Jaguar center to win that draw. They'll go D to D and break it up to the neutral zone. Tries a touch pass, it almost gets through, but nice job by Hanley on the back check. Now she uses her speed and she takes a shot. Normally she's been driving deep, wide open to Gleason, and just puts it right across the goal mouth. Hanley holds it, does a nice pull. Gleason does a nice job of putting herself in a good spot here for a rebound, right where she would want to be, but nice job by the Jaguar goaltender to deflect that up and over the net, and they're going to just put that deep into the Hopkins Park. I don't think that it does go far enough for icing, and so nice early pressure by Hopkins Park, coming out strong here in the beginning of the third period, Chad. Yep.
I'm on.
You're on. We're good. Yep. Now here we go.
Just full of words.
Yeah, Chad's full of words.
Sorry about
Actually,
that, folks.
Chad has got his gloves and his hat, and it is interesting because we're on the top row of this beautiful facility, and we get a nice breeze coming right up our back, don't we, Chad?
That's right.
It
keeps you awake.
And I tell you, if you are part of the St. Louis Park community and you get an opportunity to come over here and walk around this facility, just come take a look at this outdoor facility. Come to a high school game, a youth game, whether it's indoor and outdoor. It's just, we're very lucky to have it. But you do get a little wind on tonight coming from our back if you're on the very top row. And I kind of feel like I'm out at an ice fishing house, Chad.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, there's a nice fire pit right at the entrance. You can always just take your time and hang out there. This rink is open every night. There's stuff going on every night, whether it's a youth scrimmage or open ice, and just it's lit up every night. It looks amazing, and just a great community asset that I think everyone really can enjoy any night of the week.
Yeah, and I don't know on the cameras if you can see the reflection on the glass down behind the Hopkins Park goaltender, but you can see the fire pit. From our vantage point, you can see the flames reflecting off of the glass, and it's kind of a beautiful sight. There is an outdoor fire pit here that's on most of the open hours, and I see Anna Nichols, one of the great Hopkins Park hockey players, stopping by the booth. One of my favorites. How are you? She's giving me a thumbs up. It's good to see her with a smile on her face. I think most of the young girls here, when they're at the rink, have smiles on their face. That's what it's all about. And here Hopkins Park puts it in deep behind the Jaguar net. So we're at about 14 minutes left in the final period, and Hopkins Park not really clinging, hanging on, or just taking control with that 3-0 lead.
So far, they're sticking to the game plan that Coach explained at the break, keeping it in their end. And
yeah, that's the one thing that I would say is that I like the way they were playing their defensive zone. This is going to be icing on the Jaguar. And what he talked about was, let's get it in that third period, come out, keep it in their zone. And I saw even Hanley, who normally was driving it deep, did a smart play when she took a look and just put it in deep. That'll serve them well as that time continues to tick and the clock is in the Hopkins Park favor as we got just over 14 minutes left here in the third. Gleason lining up, hoping for a win by Brusso. And I think the Jaguar coach is unhappy with that icing call. Thought it was tipped, but he's not going to win that argument with the stripes. Hopkins wins that draw and comes back to the point, and a nice shot by Kasika, but it was tipped wide. And here's Gleason battling hard behind the net and up to the right wing for the Jaguars as it comes to center ice. Little dipsy doodle by Kasika, and she puts it in deep. As you can see, that's what Hopkins Park game plan is. You get over that center line, put it deep, and this will be the first break for the Jaguars. They bring it in, shot on net, and a beautiful glove save by Bolin to keep it at 0, and a nice job. The player was driving in hard. Bolin had to recognize the other player and had to honor them a little bit, but it did a nice job of positioning, keeping her eye on that puck, and a beautiful glove save by the Hopkins Park goaltender to keep them off the board, and that'll be Hanley on the draw just to the left of the Hopkins Park goaltender. And she'll win that draw, good defensive win, and the Hopkins Park will bring it up. Nice flip up, see how quick Hanley got up off of her center zone right to the, what a shot by Hanley. That was a rifle, but went over the net. Nice hard shot by Hanley, just missed and went over the top of the Jaguars goaltender. Jaguars have it behind the net, and they'll bank it off the boards and try to get it out of their zone. Comes to center ice. And it looked like that was going to go over, but it stayed in, and that's beaten for the Hopkins Park team, and she's got control, and she puts it on net, and the Jaguar goaltender plays it off for her D to her left, uses the board, comes out to the center zone, and the Jaguars will try to control, but there's a turnover there, comes back, thrown back into the Jaguar zone, and their D will carry it up past the center ice line and will put it in deep. Behind the net for Hopkins Park. Nice rotation by Kasika, but then there is a turnover, and here comes Russo up to number 20, and that's Fredrickson. Katie's been doing a nice job using her nice, almost a check there. Probably the first real check I saw of the game, and probably should have been called, but at this point of the game, the referees let it go. And there's Beaton returning the favor to the Jaguars as it gets a little more rough here late in the third period. That's Kuhmichael, does a nice job of flipping it up to Fredrickson, and Fredrickson puts it in deep. And again, I think you can tell what the Hopkins Park is doing. Fredrickson, obviously a very smart hockey player and very coachable, and has listened well to the instruction, I believe, Coach Erickson gave to the team based on his comments between periods. Here's Gleason going in on the forecheck, and Gleason gets kind of a little bit of a hook, but no call on that, and up come the Jaguars. They'll bring it to the center ice line and put it in deep. And the Hopkins Park will take that all day with a 3-0 lead as they gain control, and they'll throw it back out into the neutral zone. And here's Hanley, and with her strength is able to headman the puck to Rich. Rich and Hanley in deep, and they'll want Rich to come back high to keep that third man high. Now they'll need a back check, and they did get caught. That was the first time Hopkins Park got caught a little bit deep, but Jaguars were unable to get it past the last defender. Otherwise, they would have had an odd person rush. Nice play by Gleason to put it in deep. Comes up the sideboard, tries to tip it up to the center, but right there was Rich behind to Gleason. Gleason tries to center to Hanley. High stick by the Jaguars. If they touch it, it'll be a whistle, but Hopkins Park says, no, if you're not going to touch it, we'll take control of it. And Gleason, from a bad angle, puts an interesting shot on that gave the goalie a little bit of a trouble. Could have went in. Smart play as she had no one to pass to. Now Gleason and Rich will come off for a change, and Hopkins Park will look for some fresh legs with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third period and holding on to a 3-0 lead. Here comes Hopkins Park with a nice drive to the net. I believe that's Brusso, I believe. Yes, nice job. Took it right to the net, and, you know, nothing wrong with having a nose for the net. You never know what will happen. And this will be icing by the Jaguars with 9:58 left in the third period at the Rock. Hopkins, St. Louis Park leading the Jaguars 3-0 in this first ever Minnesota State High School League game outdoor at the Rock. A covered, beautiful new facility in St. Louis Park. We've talked a lot about it tonight, and it's nice to be part of this first game, isn't it, Chad?
Absolutely. It's what a beautiful night to be here.
I can see by the camera angle at times you can really get a feeling for the structure and the roof and how much this is going to mean for the community and how much it's meant to ready for events and the springtime when they'll be able to roll out some turf. And you know, like some of the people talked about, there was bands that were supposed to be at the amphitheater that would have been rained out. There was opportunity for people to rent it for parties, grad parties, all kinds of things. You know, people can get together and rent it for multi-grad parties and things along those lines. Just a nice facility, nice amenity to have in this great suburb. Here's Hanley in the slot. She's going to have an opportunity for a shot, and she just rifles that up and high to the right. She saw the webbing she wanted, just could not quite zero in that shot, but it was a beautiful opportunity. The goalie would not have had a chance if she would have hit her mark. Here it comes to center ice, and here comes Gleason with a little pull move, and she's going to get a little physical as she was bumped, but she retains control. Now she's in deep. She's got some support. She takes a shot for the 5-hole. Nice save by the goalie. Tries for a wraparound, but a stop. Her teammate now picks it up, Brusso, for a wraparound the other side, but just goes off the toe of her stick. Now it comes deep back to Gleason, and this is going to go up and over into the green grassy area that would be next to the St. Louis Park recreational pool in the summer, as that puck was cleared above and out and over, I believe, the gated fence. So here comes a new line change for the Jaguars. Nice draw win by Brusso, but nobody's there, and that'll allow them to break it out, and the Jaguars will come down into the zone for Hopkins Park. And nice rub out by, I think, again, Kumichael playing solid D all night tonight, not only clearing rebounds in, but it has had a lot of nice rub outs of the players as they've attacked the zone in Hopkins Park. She's done a wonderful job. I've been most impressed by the defense and how they've covered when the defense have got into trouble. Some nice forward support for Hopkins Park. Here's Rich along the far boards, picked up by Brusso. This will be a 2-on-1 with Gleason. Gleason going hard to the net. And a big shot and a big stop by the goaltender. It's behind, and there it is. She picked up her own rebound. That was Brusso shot it. It dropped down through the goalie. The goalie didn't know it dropped in behind. And having Gleason as a decoy on the left wing, I think that's probably why the goalie was a little more open than normal. And you could see the shot. She looked for Gleason, then the shot, and her own D bumped into the puck as it was coming off of her, put it through the 5-hole. That allowed Brusso to pick up her own rebound and put it in to give Hopkins Park a 4-0 lead over the Jaguars. And with 7.5 minutes left in the third, it's going to be very difficult for the Jaguars to come back in this one, Chad.
We like 4-0, that's for sure.
That's a nice goal and a nice timing. And they'll do an unassisted goal for Brusso, and that's the interesting thing on hockey sometimes is there was a nice decoy. Mary Gleason did exactly what she should do, and that was given an opportunity which kind of had to be honored by the D and the goalie, allowed the goalie to open up a little bit, and allowed an opportunity for Brusso to get her own rebound and put Hopkins Park up 4-0. That's Brusso again trying to drive it to the front of the net. The Jaguars pick it up behind the net, and they'll go to Bianchi. And they'll try a neutral zone check, but you can see that throughout this third period, it's been the most physical part of the 3 periods that we've seen so far. The third period has been the most physical. They're bumping into each other a little more, and of course they're a little more tired. Slows the game down a little bit, but probably a little more frustration. Here comes Bianchi. She's going to try to go through everybody, and but she throws it in deep, and nice defensive play by Hopkins Park. And here comes Brusso, drives around the net, and she goes in, and nice job by the goaltender, holding her ground, squaring up, and making a nice save by Brusso.
They might be tired, but Brusso found some speed there, right, to get her all the way around the boards on them.
They sure did, and nice breakout pass by Fredrickson. She was in deep and was able to hit Brusso and Springer for that drive to the net, which was a nice hockey play. Here comes Hanley, who's got 3 points on the night. Hanley back up her D there. Now she'll go in on the forecheck. She'll They're playing a third man high, and they want to keep that third man high with just under 6 minutes left in the third period. Nice job by Fredrickson along the far boards. Here's Hanley taking her time, looking for an outlet. Nice little reverse back to her partner, and here comes Kasika up, and she'll flip it in deep. They call no offsides, and here comes, they'll just put it in deep. Hanley's got time though. Here comes a big shot, but the goaltender was ready and squared up nice, and what a nice job by Kaylee, the McLean, the Jaguar goalie, being at the top of the paint, squaring up well on Hanley, the leading scorer. And you heard Chris Erickson between periods talk about how he's one of the best girl players he's seen come through this state, and certainly one of the top in the state.
Absolutely. And the Bulldogs are going to be lucky to have her on their team.
They sure is. Sure is. Hopkins Park will be content with keeping it deep in the Jaguar zone. No problem for them to keep it, tie it up along the boards and let that clock tick with a 4-0 lead. Behind the Jaguar net, and that's Gleason in on the forecheck. And she'll keep it, she'll try to just keep it deep. Nice job. Goes to Brusso. Brusso tries to bring it to the center. Nice job of holding it in deep, and the Jaguar goalie will take it. That was a great job by Olsen, one of the senior captains, on keeping it in deep, which is very, very smart move by Hopkins Park to just keep keeping it deep, tie it up in the offensive zone, the defensive zone for the Jaguars, and let that time continue to tick with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. But this is the first break for the Jaguars. Misplay on the D. Here come the Jaguars in on a breakaway and off the pipe. And you know what? Sometimes there's nothing better than a goaltender. Their best friend is that crossbar or the pipe, and that one went right off the upper crossbar. Watch this, just before the water, boom. One of the best scoring opportunities the Jaguars have had this period, and that hit iron and rang the bell, and it was time for dinner, but it went up high, and that'll give the Hopkins Park a defensive face-off, and Jaguars control. And that goes out of play. Kasika was battling with the Jaguar player. This will be to the left of Bolin, who was trying to maintain that shutout with 4 minutes left. Bianchi, that'll be a penalty. There was a hook or a trip off the face-off. And they're going to go for a hook, and I think that's going to be, I believe that's Kasika on the penalty. We'll have to see as it goes to the bench.
That's Alma Beaton, number 12.
Number 12, okay. So Beaton goes to the box for 2 minutes on a probably not a bad penalty. Bianchi for the Jaguars had done a nice job of coming out of that face-off with the puck and was driving the net. So if you're going to take a penalty, you want it to be in that defensive zone and to help prevent a goal, and that's exactly what Beaton did. So this will give the Jaguars an opportunity to break that goose egg, and we'll see how the penalty kill does for Hopkins Park. Here comes Hopkins Park trying to get it out, and they do, and that'll give Brousseau an opportunity to drive the net. Jaguars do gain it back. Hopkins Park will tee up and get ready to try to defend this power play of the Jaguars. Jaguars come over center ice, and Pole tries to drive right to the net. And boy, that was a dangerous play because it was fluttering, but a nice job by Bolin to be able to get that and gobble that puck up and prevent a rebound. You can see that it pops right back out to a Jaguar, and just a fluttering puck comes in. Those are sometimes very hard to smother, but I'll give Bolin credit because she identified it, got her big mitt on top of it, and froze that puck to make sure there was no rebound. Hanley on the draw. The Jaguars do win it and control on the power play with, I believe, 1:08 left in that power play. Comes to the point, but unable to hold are the Jaguars, so it'll come to center ice. You got Mary Gleason applying some pressure, and Jaguars will play it up the boards. try to take control of the zone, and there's a nice step up by Kasika against the Jaguar player. And Hopkins Park was content to shoot it down with 47 seconds left in the power play, 2 minutes and 48 seconds left in this game, and Hopkins Park is in complete control. Hanley short-handed in the slot, and a nice job by the Jaguar defense to block it as the puck comes out to center ice. Here comes the Jaguars, take control of that zone. They're still on a power play, so they'll try to set it up. They bring it to the overload position. Jaguars take control, settle the puck down, try to set up a play, bring it to the near boards. Down deep, go back door, and just cannot find the handle was the Jaguar player, but the Jaguars had a nice power play of moving the puck and setting up a beautiful scoring opportunity. Jaguars throw it in deep. They're trying to break that goose egg, and the penalty is over, so the Jaguars don't score on the power play, but they continue to have control in the Hopkins Park zone. But Hopkins Park are back at even straight, and now they're able to take it out to center ice and bring it deep into Jaguar territory, hopefully very soon. Hanley has the puck. She brings it back to her D. We've got a minute 44 left, and I think right now Hopkins Park more than anything wants to preserve that shutout for their goaltender, so they'll be working hard on that. This is Bianchi with the puck for the Jaguars, and she tries to put it deep, but it is stopped by the Hopkins Park D, and they're able to play it out to the neutral zone. The Jaguars will try to regroup. There's heavy pressure by Russo, but here comes a big defense for the Jaguars and a shot and a beautiful blocker catch save, and that's an old style. That's called a trap, where you use your blocker and you use your glove to trap it on the blocker, and you don't see that as much anymore, but it's still a goaltender move, and a beautiful job by Bowen to do that, so there is no rebound with a minute 18 left in the third period. Another shot that off the faceoff comes right to Bowen, and she's going to take no chances and freeze that puck, as she is working as hard as anybody to preserve that shutout. Important defensive zone faceoff, and the Jaguars do win it, put it right to the slot, but nobody's home, and here comes Brusso breaking up the far left wing. She's going to cut to the middle. She's got speed, but it's hooked at the last moment and unable to get a clean shot off. 1 minute left in the game for Hopkins Park, and they will go to 3-1 on the season. A great start for this girls hockey program of St. Louis Park and Hopkins. Here comes the Jaguars, bringing it in deep with 43 seconds left to go. They just want, here's Fredrickson. She's just going to put it off the boards, and she's going to be able to get there first. Great opportunity. She's got the far side, and it was just deflected by the defense. And I think Katie saw the far webbing on the far side of the goaltender was open, but a nice defensive play by 21 for the Jaguars to block that shot. We're in the final 10 seconds here, and Hopkins Park will be just content. There's a rebound, and Brusso picks up the rebound with 5.4 seconds left. Hopkins Park is going to score their 5th goal of the game to close this game out, and a great job by Brusso. And I think if I got it right, the assist will probably go to number 23, Olsen, on that goal. We'll see what the officials report, but a nice late 23-22. So little symmetrical combination out there in numbers, and we'll confirm that when they announce the goal. But great job by Hopkins Park, and that's going to end it. One last shot for the Jaguars. A great job by Hopkins Park to close this game out 5-0. Go 3-1 on the year. We'll catch the official scoring.
Assisted by number 20, Catherine Fredrickson. Number 21, Sarah McCallum.
So it is Fredrickson and McCallan on the assist. So great job by Fredrickson. So Brusso from Fredrickson and McCallan to close out this game. So the final score in this game is 5-0. Chad, final thoughts of the game?
You know, it was just a strong defensive game by the whole team. I think with just a good balance between strong offense and defense tonight. Chris Erickson's plan worked. Third period was exactly what he wanted to do. Control that puck, keep it deep the whole period. paid off.
It
It's gonna
did.
be great.
It was a fun night, and for all those watching at home tonight, come out, see the Rock. This is the first ever high school game here. What a wonderful, wonderful event here at the Rock. The final score, Hopkins Park 5, Bloomington Jefferson 0. Thank you so much for watching. This is Park TV. I want to thank Kelly, Kurt, and Robbie, and of course, Paul and Truck. Thank you guys all for bearing with the cold tonight and filming this wonderful, really celebration of an outdoor rink at the St. Louis Park Rock. Good night, everybody.